There's Gadrak. Let's give it haste. Let's play our Shadowspear. And now hopefully, just hopefully, there's no removal here. He does have 2 mana untapped. It worries me, but let's hit him with the heater. Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for taking the time to watch Hello Good Game. Today we are playing mono red artifacts with Gadrak the Crown-Scourge. So this is a 5/4 for 3 with flying. And in Brawl we love commanders with cheap converted mana costs because then there's some replayability. If it gets removed, we can still play it for 5. And in all honesty, a 5/4 with flying for 5's not that bad for me, so I'm willing to take that risk. It can't attack unless you control 4 or more artifacts. That's the drawback. That's why the card's so cheap. And at the beginning of your end step, create a treasure token for each non-token creature that died this turn. So there's a couple ways to create treasures or artifact tokens within himself. So if any of your creatures are dying, it's going to allow him to start attacking almost immediately. However, we do base the deck around artifacts just to kind of get around that whole situation so nothing needs to die. We can just flood the field with permanents and get more value than our opponent, hopefully. It is Brawl, which means there are 60 cards that are singleton. We're not running 4 of a kind, so it's pretty inconsistent. And our main priority is to try to make it as consistent as possible, right? So we're going to take a look at the deck list in its entirety, break down each individual card. What do they all do? What do they stand for, right? What are their pros, their cons, etc., etc. Then we're going to talk about the deck's strategies and synergies. How do all of these individual cards come together to form a really well-formed, coherent archetype? And then we're going to watch some gameplay footage, break down any playlines and interactions within the core set 2021 Brawl meta, which is a lot of fun. Kind of seeing how this deck is going to interact with the environment around it. Because it's not enough just to know how your deck operates. You need to know how these other decks operate so you can get advantage in certain ways and try to mitigate other things, right? So that's that. Then we have our final thoughts, talking about any upgrades, maybe some cheaper routes, future content plans, etc., to wrap up the video at the end. So I encourage you to give this video a thumbs up and share the channel to a friend if you find any value and if you're interested in seeing more Brawl decks in general. So we talked about Gadrak the Scourge Crowned already. Let's get right into our 1-drops. Bag of Holding, an artifact. Whenever you discard a card, exile that card from your graveyard. We can pay 2 to tap it, draw a card, then discard a card. We could also pay 4 to tap it, sacrificing the bag, returning all cards exiled with Bag of Holding to their owner's hand. So you get to collect cards underneath of it. You can exile later on and pull all those cards to replenish your hand. We have Gingerbrute. This is a 1/1 with haste. We can pay 1, give it unblockable, except by other creatures with haste, which is rare. Normally creatures with haste aren't able to block because they attack with the haste. We can also pay 2 to sacrifice it, gaining 3 life. Shadowspear. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has trample plus lifelink. We can pay 1 permanents your opponent control, lose hexproof and indestructible until end of turn, and the equip cost here is 2. Soul Guide Lantern. When Soul Guide Lantern enters the battlefield, exile target card from a graveyard, either yours or your opponent's. Probably your opponent's though. We can pay 1, sacrifice it, exile each opponent's graveyard, and then we can pay 1 and tap it and draw a card. The first effect, we're not paying 1. I think I said that we pay 1 and tap it to exile each opponent's graveyard, but we actually just tap it and sacrifice it. And then the second part is that we pay 1, tap it and sacrifice it to draw a card. Sorry about that. Anywho, up to Stonecoil Serpent. Now this is nice because it's an artifact creature, so it kind of doubles down as board presence to stop those attackers, plus an artifact to help your Gadrak out. Reach Trample 0/0, protection from multicolored. It enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. This is a scaling card, so it's good early game. It's good late game just because of the ability to cast it for your top curved amount always. On to our 2-drops. Crystal Slipper. Now this is really important here. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has haste. Equip costs for 1, and it is of course an artifact. Mask of Immolation, another red artifact. When it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 red elemental creature token, then attach Mask to it. Equipped creature has sacrificed this creature. It deals 1 damage to any target, and the equipped cost is 2. Robber of the Rich, reach haste 2/2 whenever it attacks. If defending player has more cards in their hand than you, we're going to be exiling the top card of their library, and we can cast that card any turn that we've attacked with a rogue and spend mana as though it were any color. Arcane Signet artifact comes in, tap for any color in our commander's identity, just a nice little ramp. Golden Egg, when it enters the battlefield, draw a card. We can pay 1, sacrifice it, add 1 mana of any color, and we can pay 2, sacrificing it to gain 3 life. The Guild Globe, when it enters the battlefield, draw a card, pay 2, sacrifice it, add 2 mana of different colors. Mazemind Tome, now this is really interesting. This is just another artifact, right, like most of the deck. We can tap it to put a page counter on it and scry 1, so we're being able to scry for free, which is like really, really cool. And then we can pay 2, tap it to put a page counter on it and draw a card. So we can pay 2 to draw a card, pay 0 to scry. When it gets 4 or more page counters on it, we have to exile it. When we do, we gain 4 life. So it's not like we can use it forever, but still getting 2 draws or 4 scries is, you know, very, very nice. Mirror Shield, equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has hexproof. And whenever a creature with Death Touch blocks or becomes blocked by this creature, destroy that creature. Equip cost for 2. Tomb of Legends, when it enters the battlefield, put a page counter on it. And then whenever your commander enters the battlefield or attacks, put a page counter on it again. And then we can also pay 1 to tap it and remove a page counter, allowing us to draw a card. We've got Stomp. Now this is our last 2-drop. It does 2 damage. Damage can't be prevented, which is nice. And then we move on to Bonecrusher Giant. This is our first 3-drop. It's a 4/3, and whenever it becomes target of a spell, that spell's controller is going to take 2 damage. Brimstone Trebuchet. This is a 1/3. Defender reach, tap it, deals 1 damage to each opponent, and whenever a knight enters the battlefield under your control, untap it. That's not relevant here. Krinko Tin Street Kingpin. This is a 1/2, and whenever it attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Then create a number of 1/1 goblins equal to its power, so that's quite nice. The War Boss is a little bit similar. It's a 2/2 with Mentor, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token. It gains haste until the end of turn and attacks each combat, or sorry, this combat, if able. The combat after, it can defend, jump block, etc. But on its summoning attack, it has to attack. And then the Mentor from the War Boss can buff it up as well. Mizzium Tank. This is a 3/2 artifact vehicle with trample, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Mizzium Tank becomes an artifact creature, and it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. You can also make it a creature through crewing 1, which is super easy. Phoenix of Ash, 2/2 flying haste, pay 3. It gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Escape cost for 4, plus exiling 3 cards from our graveyard. Phoenix of Ash escapes with a 1/1 counter on it. Chromatic Lantern. Lands you control have tap to add 1 mana of any color, not really relevant to us. And then it itself is a mana stone to tap to add for mana. Clockwork Servant, 2/3. When we spend 3 red mana, we're going to draw a card, which obviously is our only option, so that's a nice cantrip there. Crystalline Giant, 3/3. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose a kind of counter at random that Crystalline Giant doesn't already have on it. Among flying, First Strike, Death Touch, Hexproof, Lifelink, Menace, Reach, Trample, Vigilance, and +1/+1. Then put a counter of that kind on Crystalline Giant. Heraldic Banner, another ramp. When it enters the battlefield, choose a color. Creatures you control of the chosen color get +1/+0, and we can tap it to add mana. Palladium Myr, tap it to add 2 colorless mana. It's a 2/2 creature artifact. Skyscanner, another creature artifact, flying 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Sparkhunter Masticore, 3/4. As an additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card. Protection from Planeswalkers, which is neat. Pay 1, it deals 1 damage to target Planeswalker, and pay 3. It's going to gain indestructible until end of turn. On to our 4-drops, Mystic Forge. Now this is really neat. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast artifact spells or colorless spells from the top of your library, and we can pay 1 life to exile the top card of our library. Solemn Simulacrum, a 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic land, and then when it leaves the battlefield, or dies, I should say, not exiled, only dies, we get to draw a card. We have Chandra, Heart of Fire. This is a 5 loyalty planeswalker, no static ability. +1, discard your hand, then exile the top 3 cards of your library until the end of next turn. You may play cards exiled this way. +1, Chandra Hardfire deals 2 damage to any target, and -9, search your graveyard and library for any number of red instants and or sorcery spells. Exile them, shuffle your library, you may cast them this turn, add 6 red mana symbols. Ox of Agnes, this is a 4/2, and whenever it enters the battlefield, discard your hand, then draw 3 cards. Escape cost is only 2, which is neat. However, we have to exile 8 other cards from your graveyard. It escapes with a +1/+1 counter on it as well. We are not done yet. We've got Chandra Awakened Infernal for 6. A 6 loyalty planeswalker when she enters can't be countered. +2. Each opponent gets an emblem with at the beginning of your upkeep. This emblem deals 1 damage to you. -3. Chandra Awakened Inferno deals 3 damage to each non-elemental creature. And -X. Chandra Awakened Inferno deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker if an opponent is dealt damage this way or would die. If a creature and opponent is dealt damage this way or would die, send it to exile instead, right? Embercleave is a 6-drop with flash, costs 1 less to cast for each attacking creature. When it enters battlefield, automatically attach it. Equipped creature gets +1/+1, double strike, and trample. God of Pharaoh statue, stuff your opponent casts is 2 more in mana cost to cast. And then at the beginning of our end step, each opponent loses 1 life. And then finally, of course, Ugin the Spirit Dragon for 8, 7 loyalty when it enters, +2, dealing 3 damage to any target. -X, exile each permanent with converted mana costs X or less. That is 1 or more colors, so not colorless, take note of. And -10, you gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, and then put 7 permanent cards from your hand onto the battlefield. So that should close out the game. Of course, we've got an unshown number of mountains due to the user interface at Castle Ambereth. The number of mountains is 24, 23 mountains plus the Ambereth, right? So that's our Brawl list. I kind of get burnt out from reading all those cards because it is singleton. There's 60 unique cards here. So it is very artifact based. You can see the majority of the deck is colorless, even though we are using some key red cards within the deck. Our best playline, obviously, is just to flood the field with artifacts, now that we're talking about the deck strategies and synergies. We talked about Crystal Slipper. This is our ideal 2-drop. On turn 1, maybe a Bag of Holding. Shadowspear is super ideal as well on turn 1. Turn 2, you get your Crystal Slipper out. Turn 3, you put your Gadrak out. And then turn 4, something else, right? And then on the turn after that, he should be attacking. It really depends. Yeah, like it's hard to get there without any 0-drop artifacts on turn 3. You kind of have to play your artifacts up to turn 4 probably, just because the Crystal Slipper is 2, so you're not double dropping. So you're gonna have to take a turn off. So Gadrak can have haste on turn 4, which is really nice. Not turn 3. But with that being said, you're gonna need the mana to equip the Slipper to Gadrak as well. So by default, we have to wait until turn 4 anyways at the very earliest, right? So just because of the total mana drop, you'll need to drop another artifact or 2 artifacts on turn 3, and then on turn 4, you can play Gadrak, right? He costs 3, and then the Slipper equips for 1. So it's a turn 4 play that you get Gadrak out there. Ideally, you've got your Shadowspear as well, and now he's got life gain, which is really, really going to help. So generally, that's our go-to strategy, right? But one strategy isn't enough. We need backup plans. Mystic Forge, looking at the top card of our library and casting artifacts or colorless spells from the top. This is an incredible card advantage because the majority of our deck is colorless, and then a lot of the the other cards like the Slipper and like the Mask, Embercleave, etc. Those are also artifacts, so we can play a lot of our library from the top of our deck with Mystic Forge, which is cool. We can even pay 1 life to get rid of a card. We have things like Tomb of Legends also to draw cards to get those lands off the top so we can keep playing potentially if we get stuck. The Guild Globe can draw cards, etc., right? So, you can get rid of those lands off the top if they're there, so you can keep playing underneath your Mystical Forge, which is really nice. Solemn Simulacrum just helps you ramp. You see we did have the Lantern, the Banner. There's another one that helps us ramp, the Signet, right? So we've got a lot of artifact ramp, which really just helps us push into our Ugin, which should just win us games. Embercleave on literally anything is deadly. Chandra's in here for fun. The -3 to wipe the field is like really helpful here. And then again, we've got the Ox, which can redraw us a hand, which is pretty cool. Robber of the Rich is kind of like a supplemented draw engine as well, where we can potentially play our creatures cards, or our opponent's creatures cards. Oh gosh. A little bit of removal through Bone Crusher Giants, Mask of Immolation, but not much. Mizzium Tank's a cool way to sneak in damage if you're playing like your Guild Globes or your Tomb of Legends on top of it. There's not a lot to the deck. It's pretty basic. I'd say it's pretty budget, but we had to balance the power level of artifacts with mythic rares, right? So the top end is pretty expensive. The low end is not so bad, right? Let me know what you guys think. I really had a lot of fun with this deck, and I think I might make a mono-colored artifact deck for each color, right? So we could look forward to that. I think Gadrak for 3 is a very powerful commander within Brawl. So just to be able to hit your opponent with a 5/4 with flying on turn 4 consistently is pretty good. So we're definitely into that over here, right? So Brawl doesn't have a sideboard, so all best of 1 right now. I'm really looking forward to ranked Brawl. I think that's going to be a lot of fun, and I think there'll be a little bit more resolve in the matches. A lot of people concede just because there's nothing attached to it, right? They just want their wins. They want to have fun, and that includes them winning, so that's fine. I'm live on YouTube every morning, 6 a.m. Mountain Standard Central. Mountain Standard Central? Woof. It's been a long day. 6 a.m. Mountain Standard, and then Twitch 7 a.m. Mountain Standard, and we're in the Discord all day, right? So thanks for your time and attention. Really appreciate it. I think we got like over 520 consecutive videos now on YouTube, so absolutely incredible. We started to push 2 a day, thanks to all of our Patreon, YouTube, and Twitch supporters. The extra little bit of financial support really goes a long ways and allows me to go above and beyond. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy Mono Red Artifacts. Don't forget to watch the end. Don't miss out on my closing thoughts. Peace. We're going first. 3 lands. I'll allow it. No 1-drop, that's fine. But we do have a very nice 2 and a semi-decent 3. Yark the Desecrated is actually the Brawl deck we showcased yesterday, I believe. Might have been the day before. One of my favorite commanders within Brawl. Just so much fun. We played first, so the robber is like going to do a lot of work here. And we just scooped up a mythic, which is a good start. Let's go get our Masticore out there. We do have to discard, and I don't really see us getting to our Ugin. So I'm going to toss it. The Masticore's discard helps the robber. We took a land from him. We're dropping our 4th land and cleaving. Woof. And then we have our Ox that should replenish our hand, right? Down to 1. We have just massive field presence. Guild Globe will help us draw. We are both odd and even, so it gets a little bit weird there. Let's take the draw. More land. I think he has to block them all. This will get us through. So he does gain 3 life, but then we do the extra damage with the other attackers, which is really nice. So good game, and that's a pretty good pull or a stream of cards for a Brawl match. The hand looks really weird. It's probably an aggro deck. The Bonecrusher Giant will be nice. If it allows us to cast Stomp, we're going to try to get to the bottom of that. Not necessarily too sure what happened there last time, but... trying our best. And we're off to the races. Oh, more people, hey? Maybe he's being respectful. Nope. Well, actually, maybe he still is. I shouldn't say that. Mask of Immolation would have been cool to play as well. But this discard on the bag could be good. And we're just letting him do whatever he wants, trying to work into our banner. Playing our Forge, and then we'll kind of address the field situation from there. Again, throwing up Gadrak as a blocker, probably not a bad idea. Which we do have haste for. So just trying to ramp, which gives us access to 4, potentially 5, which would allow us to play our Slipper and our Gadrak. That's only 3 artifacts though, so not the greatest. We can remove the Scorpion, right? So I'm thinking play the Slipper, remove the Scorpion. Well, the Lantern's great. Okay, ramping further with the Lantern. Just as good as the land. Almost. Right, now we still have 2. That will be our 4th, right? So we can definitely just cheat Gadrak in next turn. Playing his beautiful Slippers. How do you think those shoes fit on these big old dragon feet? He's gonna need like 4 or 5 of them for all those. 1 for each claw, baby. We have 4 artifacts. We're ready to drop our Gadrak. He will be a 6/4, which will be pretty cool. We still have removal in our Giants as well, which we will be able to do in the same turn, which is nice. And then we can play our Forge and just kind of free cast from the top of our library from then. Oh, nice. So we don't have a creature to... oh, actually, he just gets to pick 2. I was thinking of the other one. The 4/5, where your opponent gets to put Death Touch on something. Which is really cool as well. We can pull a land. Nice. So this works out perfectly. So that's 7 damage. Pretty nice. We do get to stomp this Scorpion on attack as well. The Mentor comes out. Counter target non-human creature you control. Menace, baby. So, probably on the Scorpion? Or does he just stack it all on the Grim? That would be cool. Interesting. Dropping the Mentor here. Just, I think that's a better play. Down to 12, not the greatest. Ugin is hot. The Forge lets us play from the top with our colorless spells. Land's no good. The Mask is a pretty cool chump blocker, even though it doesn't do much against Menace. And I think we just somehow try to race him, if that makes any sense. I'm not sure if we'll be able to. Top decking an Embercleave would be ideal. I guess that's not colorless, though. It has to be colorless. No, artifact and colorless spells. So it could be Embercleave. Yes, so we take 5 damage here still. We have what, 4, 5, 6. That'll be 7. We're close to Ugin, but I think a little too far away. We can block the Grim Dancer with our Bone Crusher. Be cool if we could play lands from the top as well. Let's get the land in our hand. We should be able to hold off and drop Ugin to win. Playing our spear off the top is really nice. Right? Life gain is exactly what we're looking for here. It's too bad we don't have the available mana to equip it. And that would be cool. Part of me wants to just attack in case he removes us, instead of trying to double block for the kill. That gives us a page counter on our Tomb of Legends, which we can draw with, get the land away next turn. He's down to 10. And now he's less likely, you know, to remove Gadrak as it's tapped. He gets to take us down to 4. He's up to 13. Watch him have burn and deal 4 direct damage to us. Right? I bet he does, doesn't he? Alright, he's up to 13. We have 5, 6, 7, 8 land available to us, so Ugin is safe to drop. He's chilling, he's thinking about it. It is a hard decision, right? We're down to 4, he's at 13. We hit for 5, which is 12. We're 1 short. He hits us, right, down to 1. He goes up to 4, and then we have lethal. So he needs to interact somehow, and he knows this. We also have lethal through our Mask of Immolation, so he doesn't go down to 1. He goes to 0, because we can equip and sack. Obosh was his commander. It's in play. Very nice. A little bit of a wrench in our plans here. I mean, again, Ugin just easily deals with that. The bad thing is that we're gonna lose everybody except for our artifacts. So let's. Oh, but then we can't drop Ugin. Let's be careful about that. Oh goodness. Let's go in deep, right? So we trade, so now we can just actually use his plus ability to kill the Grave Dancer.
Peace is fragile and fleeting. Cherish what little my flames burn.
Nice.
Beyond perception.
Ooh, we got some treasure tokens finally. Normally we try to use these treasure tokens to help cheat Ugin on the field. A little quicker anyways. He could probably just remove our Ugin. He's got lots of cards in his hand. He can't solve the equation here. We have a robber on top, war boss, and then we can play anything colorless underneath the robber. We can draw a land away, we can pay life to get a land away. Put lifelink on our 7/4. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So does he kill it and take it? But when it leaves the battlefield, it comes to our command zone, so he doesn't really get to take it. Right? Normally that works. And then he exiles it. I don't think he gets it because it comes back to our command zone. He could get it if it went to the graveyard, but because it's our commander, it can kind of get around that. Our turn. Robber Warboss. Now we want to equip this over here, gain some life, get away from him. Right, and then equip this to our Warboss, give it haste. Now we +2 smash him, and then we're all over. Good game. Woof. Opponent goes first, that's never good, but we've got our Slipper, which is so good on Gadrak. Gadrak's little slippies. No one drop, that would be cool. Okay, we've got the Cult Guild Mage. That's actually pretty good. That's going to nullify our robber, so we'll just keep it in our hand for now so it doesn't get removed. We have our Myr out. Then our Simulacrum. Does he have Spectacle? Don't you dare. Okay. I mean, it does have Spectacle. Actually, it did. It's funny that we were able to peg that. I was worried about like a Scare the Critics or something. Yeah, let's ramp. Hopefully it doesn't see removal. That would suck. Duress, goodbye Ugin. Ouch. That was our whole plan. Try and play our Masticore last so we don't have to discard anything. We have 3-5 available, 6 in hand, so we go probably Simulacrum Robber. That spear's really nice as well. Simulacrum hits, which is nice. Yeah, land is really important to us right now. Well, not so much, but... just to play our Gadrak and then equip the slippers. Right, 1, 2, 3. We're gonna need that extra land. Play our Shadowspear and ideally equip it, but I think we're still a couple lands shy. Right, 5, 6, 7. So we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 available actually. So that's not bad. The sad thing about it is we can't lose an artifact, so we just have to take it. If he's gonna kill something, the robber would be the best for us. Which is great, right? There's Gadrak. Let's give it haste. Let's play our Shadowspear. And now hopefully, just hopefully, there's no removal here. He does have 2 mana untapped. It worries me, but let's hit him with the heater. All attack. All attack. Don't be scared. I'm just gonna reconnect here really quick. Sometimes it could be my internet, you never know. All attack. There we go. I'm not trying to rope, I promise. It's a lot of life gained. I really like that. Okay. I can only assume it's my internet connection. There we go. Alright, Dreadhorde General. We have flying, so, you know, it's totally okay with us. Let's just fold all of our cards into the field. Do we know? Oh, we can only cast it if we discard it. I thought maybe if we didn't have a card to discard, we could still cast it. That's on me. We're going to go in with an attack with everybody. Hitting for 5, 12 damage. And we gain 7 life, so I don't really mind. Oh no, only 11 because this doesn't have haste. I don't really mind taking damage again because of the life gain. It's really going to offset anything that he's doing to us. I wish Arena incorporated, like if you press, what is it, Control Enter, Space Enter, Period Enter, Shift Enter. There's a way somewhere to put out your readings within the game. It's gonna be like your frame rate, your CPU usage, stuff like this. But I think it would be really cool if we could incorporate something like that that had a ping, right? So we could see our connection to the Arena server, and then we know if we're being roped, we know if it's our connection. Etc., etc. I think that'd be incredibly helpful. Now I know I'm a small select of people. Most people's internet is never an issue, but I'm always left in this weird zone where it's like, is it me? Is it you? Right? I think we got our other dog as well. Woof, we got our Bolt Hound. Whoa, he jumps around the whole field? What? That's by far the coolest pet animation I've seen so far. I love it. It makes this whole connection / rope experience worth it. Look, he's just getting ready to rip. Oh yeah, go get him, bud. Kind of makes me feel like even he's like that. It's like when you're in a first-person shooter and you're just running, not moving. Alright, there's game. Alright, keeping it. 3 lands. Pretty cool. Lantern helps ramp. Banner helps ramp. Statue presses our opponent. Cantrip with the Servant. Hello, hello, hello. Ugin in hand. Just building to 8. Playing against Helioid. That's not good. I think the banner's a little higher value than the lantern just because we don't have multiple colors. So we're at 4. Hopefully we pull a land to 5. Just stacking our artifacts. Gadrak can come out and be ready to attack the turn after when we play either our Pharaoh statue or our Servant. I'm sure our opponent has plenty of exile in that hand of his though, right? A little bit of removal, etc., etc. A Broodmoth, wow. That's aggressive. We have 3 artifacts. Mizzium Tank will be our 4th, hopefully. Nice. This is so good. We can kill the Broodmoth, which is nice. Helioid can attack at will, though, which is not good. We really need this Ugin minus. Sitting on 5 land, 3 away. Are we going to be able to survive? Ouch. Nice, so now he gets to click up his Moth. That's a good game. Ouch. Some instant speed trickery there. That's for sure. And we do get the land. Taking the draw, looking for another land. No attacks. We can stop some of the big attacks to survive. 4, 5, 6. Yeah. It's gonna be hard to get to. Especially with an Anthem. Nice. Oh my god, double nice. Oh, that's crazy. Okay, so we have to block the Broodmoth. And probably Helioid as well. Right, let's just try to mitigate some of this damage. Big ouchies. Oh, that's still lethal. And a very good game. We're getting close, but you know, it's a little hard to get there sometimes. Oh, so mono red artifacts, not bad. It could pop off. Gadrak's pretty hot. I think I like Yarak better. It's hard to say, right? Like, they're different kind of decks. I like the aggro decks. I like getting the wins. I think removal's pretty prevalent, though, so it's not always the hottest. Whereas when you can go into one of those huge combo decks that just like, I gotcha, Value Town, baby. Personally, I like that style a little bit better. However, like I said, it's best of one. You could probably aggro people out pretty consistently, especially with mono red artifacts. We're going to be taking a look, I think, at monocolor artifacts throughout Brawl. Maybe do a monocolor for each. That's just a nice entry deck to build upon, right? So if you're interested in that, make sure to like this video. As creators, we're hesitant to do Brawl content because it doesn't get the views, and then it kind of tanks our channel's analytics, which is so sad. So if you liked this content and you want to see more of this content, please like this video, share it out to a friend. I really appreciate the support, most definitely. And big shout out to all our supporters on Twitch, Patreon, YouTube, right? All the membership programs where people are paying the monthly situation. It really helps me increase the workload. Like, I think we've been working 8 to 12 hours a day, crushing multiple videos out, running the community, all this. So it's been a lot of fun. You know, I'm really looking forward to doing more of this for you guys. So I hope you've been enjoying. Do take care, and, you know, just ultra supreme thank yous. Take care. Peace.